For Bender, there has been a death in the family. His great-uncle Vladimir has passed away, so Bender takes the Planet Express crew along with him to Robo-Hungary to attend the funeral. In his will, Vladimir left Bender his castle on the condition that he spend the night there. He is initially excited, but that night, the castle's sinister atmosphere and a haunting by the hologram ghosts of his dead relatives cause Bender to flee in terror, where he becomes the victim of a hit and run, but not by an ordinary hover car, by a strange vehicle that drove on the ground on 4 rubber wheels. After the gang return to New York, Bender starts to experience nightmares and blackouts, and when he reads about a series of hit-and-run incidents near places he has been, he suspects that the car followed him home and is still hunting him down. In his worry, Bender consults a robot fortune-teller at the local carnival, who informs him that the car killing people in New York is in fact Bender himself. The car that ran him over was a werecar, and in the act it transmitted the curse to him. He will continue to transform every night until one day he is doomed to kill his dearest friend. The only way to break the curse is to find and destroy the original werecar. That night, Fry and Leela weld Bender to his apartment wall to prevent him from killing anyone, and they prepare to hunt down the original werecar the following day. However, Bender breaks free from his bonds and the evil Bender car drives out for his nightly rampage. However, rather than chase Fry, Bender instead tries to kill Leela. Despite the failure of his murder attempt, Fry is crushed. He thought he was Bender's best friend, but it seems he was mistaken. With these ill feelings in the air, the trio fly back to Robo-Hungary and find the werecar who attacked Bender. He then leads them to the werecar who attacked him, and over the following hours they trace the lineage back to the famed robot actor Calculon. Calculon explains that 1,000 years ago, he was attacked by the original werecar, a demonic car assembled using parts of the most evil cars in history, Project Satan. Fry, Bender, and Leela travel to the abandoned automotive factory where Project Satan was built and find it still there. Alas, before they can slay it, Bender transforms, and now Fry and Leela have 2 killer cars to contend with. Project Satan pursues Leela, while Bender gives chase to Fry. In the end, Project Satan falls into a furnace and is destroyed, curing Bender and all of the other werecars around the world. Safe and sound, Fry is overjoyed that Bender tried to kill him, confirming that they are indeed the best of friends. Friendship really is a funny thing. Welcome to Space Podcast 3000, where the future is in the past.
So I'm tempted to make the obligatory Turbo Teen joke.
I mean, there's a lot of jokes you could make here.
This is a really cute episode, honestly, despite the kind of horror aspect of it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, I love horror a lot, so I was really into this one, and it's a very funny episode.
Especially the idea of the robot ghosts sneaking through the ancient abandoned modem. It's like, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it really is kind of like 2 episodes in one. You have like the ghost aspect and then the werewolf aspect.
Yeah, I mean the title, The Honking, is very clearly a nod to the Howling, that 1981 werewolf movie. But I mean, you could also argue it sounds closer to The Haunting, which, was a ghost movie. I mean, it could be either, it could be both.
Yeah. Someone could think, oh, The Shining, even if it's more of a stretch, it's still blanking.
There's a lot of horror movies that are the blanking.
Yeah.
True. Some are more well-known than others, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Although, it's funny, there actually was a The Shining reference in this episode. The gibberish message that turns ominous when viewed in a mirror.
Yeah.
Which, in this case, 1010011010, I believe is binary for the number 666.
Yeah, the one that's in the mirror is 666. I think, like, read the other way, it's like 400 something.
I don't think so. I think it is just gibberish. But
it would still be a number. It would just...
Little sad it wasn't just boo.
Yeah, that would have been very funny. I was thinking the same thing. I do appreciate the joke of Thermostat, capital of the Robo-Hungarian Empire. It's a little pun I really appreciate.
Yeah.
I will take you this far, but no further. just the front door.
Honestly, that whole scene, I was just thinking of that joke from Young Frankenstein, the Frau Blucher.
I like Bender getting chased by the Windows screensavers.
Yes.
Because that, like, I don't know if, like, the people that were in the 90s, the screensaver was, like, this new thing. Just, like, where you would, like, have these things happening on the screen. Like, the flying toasters was, like, such an iconic one. But, like, we later realized that it's really kind of pointless to do that because you can't just turn the screen off and that does the exact same thing and doesn't take as much power.
Well, I mean, the purpose of
the screensaver was to prevent screen burn-in.
Right, and yes, you could turn the monitor off, but sometimes you would forget.
No, I'm saying instead of a screensaver, the computer just turns the monitor off. That's the screensaver, it's just a blank screen.
Oh, that works now, but it's worth noting that, like, at the time, a lot of, like, old CRTs would take a while to warm up. And this way you could have it still available just instantly.
Well, yeah, but the screensaver is just showing a blank screen, not just turning the monitor. I say turning the monitor off, but just blanking the screen, showing black on screen would be the screensaver.
Yeah, fair enough.
And most Windows PCs now just have that option of screensaver blank. It just blanks the screen instead of showing something, which is still in there now. You could set like the shining numbers or the bouncing text or whatever.
I guess nowadays it's just novelty.
Yeah, I mean, even back then, a large part of it was novelty and vanity and trying to customize your computer. Like, I remember in, like, Windows 98, you had all of these different just themes you could apply to your computer.
And that was one of the early things of the internet. One of the free stuff you can get. You like free emojis, free text, free cursors, free screensavers. And that was one of the early ways of getting your information or installing malware on your computer.
Yeah, Neopets had their own screensavers that's what I used back in the day.
Cartoon Network had some, and there were screensavers that made noise, which is, no, don't ever use those.
Yeah.
Personally, my favorite screensavers were the 3D Maze that Windows had, and that one Haunted House one. But, I mean, we've already established that I love, like, spooky aesthetics and horror stuff. But, like, with the Windows themes, like, I remember seeing someone knew had a computer where, like, the mouse cursor was a baseball bat. You had a baseball player and the desktop. The whole color scheme was very baseball-y. Even, like the loading bar, like the loading wheel when you... that would replace the mouse cursor was like a spinning baseball. And like you even had various baseball-ish sound effects. Like when you double-clicked on something, you would get a voice saying, play ball. And it was just... It went so far with trying to letting you customize your OS. And I kind of missed that, if I'm being honest.
I mean, it's a cute idea. I did that when I got my first computer. I learned how to like make custom icons and everything. I had this whole kind of retro futuristic look where it's like vibrant green colors and just black background, but like green lines and stuff. And like I made my like original cursors and like the hourglass and the arrow and everything. I don't think I have any screenshots around, but it was just as dorky as it sounds, of course. But there's something you'd like about it. My brother did the same thing too. He set like all his actions on his computer was different sound clips from Beatles songs.
Oh, that's clever.
So like when you would like shut down the computer, it's just say goodbye.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I really don't like about a lot of modern operating systems and just this evolution that we're going towards all of the sleek minimalism. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy minimalist aesthetics a lot of the time. And, you know, I can appreciate it when it's done tastefully. But, like, we're moving away from the ability of the end user to customize their experience and make their computer work for them and be however they want it, and towards this philosophy of everything has to be the same. It has to be a unified experience from computer to computer. We're going to take all of this control away from the user. And it's just, I hate that. Because, like, I'm a power user. You know, I'm someone who wants to be able to control the way my computer works. And not being able to do that is extremely frustrating.
Especially when it's something that should be possible. It's just this blocked for arbitrary reasons.
Right, like, I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Windows 11 just once again taking features away from Windows 10, which took features away. I
And I
still
thought
think,
Windows 10 was supposed to be the last one, and they just upgrade it.
yeah, I still think, like, Windows XP and Windows 7 are about on the same level, like, the best OSs that Microsoft ever made, and it's just been downhill from there.
Yeah, I'm still on Windows 7
Yeah,
myself.
especially when it could be even easier these days to make things customizable.
It should, but for whatever reason, we have this attitude in UX design, and it's just, I don't like it. But I really do miss the cheesy atmosphere of being able to, choose a screensaver and your own everything from the 90s and Windows 9X, and even to a lesser extent XP.
My mom would hate it because I'd always set the screensaver to Wingdings. I think at capital letter N is the skull and crossbones. And he's like, "Don't do that. That looks so stupid."
Yeah, I used to love just messing around and changing the screensaver to just random things, whatever I was in the mood for. And like the 3D maze in particular that I mentioned before, I would just watch that go through for just minutes at a time. I would just sit there and watch it.
I was really dumb with the 3D maze. I would set all the textures to black and turn the mini map on.
So it would just be the little maze in the corner.
You'd have the mini map. It'd be kind of a full overlay, but occasionally it would show the other textured walls which you couldn't change, or the rat running by, because there is other rats in the maze.
I forgot about the rat.
But I remember people seeing that and thinking, "Oh, it's Doom," because Doom was like super popular at the time. It's like, "Oh, look, it's running, it's Doom." It's like, this is not Doom. It's just a. But they would like see it out of the corner. I was like, "Oh, that person playing Doom." I was like, "Oh no, that's just that's just a screensaver." But it looked so cool because it looked like Doom, and Doom was so popular and iconic at the time. So I would imagine you could set the background textures to maps to Doom textures, and they would look pretty decent.
Well, I remember a couple of the preset textures were like these rainbow animated things, and just watching it go through the maze with those playing and animating on the floor and the walls and the ceiling, it would give you such a headache.
Oh, geez, yeah.
We should get back on topic.
Yeah, we're talking about nostalgia here.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of really good computer jokes in the opening parts of the episode. Like Vladimir's son Tandy, clearly a nod to the Tandy Corporation.
But then his shirt says TRS-80.
His shirt was Eurotrash 80, which obviously a nod to Tandy's TRS-80, which I believe some people even nicknamed the Trash 80 just because it was so cheaply built.
Yeah.
And then you have the that painting with the moving eyes, and the plaque says it's of Commodore the 64th. Like that was clever.
I didn't see that, but was his name in Roman numerals?
Yes.
Yes, good. Okay. They earned that joke then.
Yeah, and then that music that plays before the scary things happen is just the Windows 98 startup sound.
Yeah, and when the car died, it was the, modem noise?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's
noise.
it, beaming out the antivirus.
And actually, speaking of the werecars, the werecar that ran Bender over was, I think I recognized it properly. I think it's a 1958 Plymouth Fury, which is the same model as the killer car from Christine by Stephen King.
That would make sense. It looked about that.
I do not know cars, so I'll have to take your word on it.
I mean, I don't know cars either, but I'm
Yeah.
a fan of King, so I would recognize the 58 Plymouth Fury.
Though I see Christine as more of a succubus than a werewolf.
Yeah, fair, but I mean, you're going to do a killer car thing, you might as well make the Christine reference while you're at it.
Might as well.
Yeah. Although, werecar is kind of a bit of a misnomer, since, they're not men, they're robots.
Yeah.
And, were doesn't mean, a person who transforms into an animal. It literally is just derived from the Old English wer, meaning man. So it literally just means man-wolf.
Man-wolf, yeah.
So in this case, this would just be man-car, but they're not men, they're robots. So, Robocar.
Well, you're getting into semantics. In modern parlance of lycanthropy, were is just kind of creature that turns into what... Because you saw this exact same argument in Sonic Unleashed, where he's called a werehog.
Yeah.
Was like, shouldn't it be called a hedgeware? And it's like,
I mean,
shut
I would
up.
say the same thing then, that, like, hogwolf would have been better and, would have probably rolled off the tongue better than werehog.
I think werehog is just kind of the obvious name that they went for, and it's like, and we're defending a game that's half bad anyway. So.
I've seen werewolves done before in My Little Pony fanfiction.
Oh, werewolf?
That's a clever
yeah, that
pun.
makes sense.
It is.
A werewolf. There was also the fruit bat, the fruit vampire bat.
That was cute, but this was, a fan-made thing.
Honestly, the frustrating thing about Sonic 06 is that, like, there's two different versions of the game, and they're good in opposite ways. Because, like, you have the Xbox 360 and PS3 version, which the nighttime stages are actually pretty fun, but the daytime stages move way too quickly and are extremely frustrating.
You said Sonic 06, you mean Sonic Unleashed?
Yes, Sonic Unleashed, sorry.
Yeah, Sonic 06 is good in no ways.
Yeah, Sonic 06 is just terrible. Anyway, Sonic Unleashed, but then there's the Wii version where the daytime stages are actually really good, but the nighttime stages, the controls and the combat are so simplified that it becomes dull. And then on the other hand, you also have in the 360 and PS3 versions the world map that is really cool and has a lot of character, and the Wii version, it's just a level select. And then on the other hand, the progression is all kinds of fucked in the PS360 version, where you have to collect all of these collectibles to unlock the new levels, whereas in the Wii version, those are entirely optional just for upgrading your character. And, like, there is a really good game in there somewhere. Like, combine...
If you could Frankenstein it together.
Combine the nighttime stages and the open world from the PS3 and 360 versions and the day stages and the character progression from the Wii version, you would have an actually really good game there.
Wonder if someone's tried that before.
Maybe once emulation and modding gets better.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will be able to mod that together at some point, but we're a long ways off from that. In the meantime, there's rumors of an upcoming remaster, which I don't know how they're going to do that.
Yeah, which version would they remaster? Because they seem to sound so different from each other.
I mean, probably the PS3 and 360 version, because that's the one more people played. It's the one with more high-res assets to begin with.
So apparently, in this universe, ghosts die.
Yeah, that the last ghost died centuries ago. That's a very great line. I love that.
Yeah. I wonder how.
How does a ghost die?
Probably got scared to death.
You exorcise them, maybe?
Maybe.
I mean, I have a feeling a ghost would not want to go to the gym.
They're dead tired.
Yeah, but yeah, remember 2 years ago when they made Project Satan?
Yeah, I think I read about that in the news. Happy second birthday, evil car. Although, like, why would you build something like this?
That's kind of the joke they go for. The car they made to be pure evil turned out to be pure evil, and it's like, oh, really?
You could have seen that coming.
It was made at the Anti-Chrysler factory. Which is such an amazing pun.
Although let's stay focused here on the real pure evil. We have Zoidberg selling Mary Kay makeup, and it's just like Zoidberg to get wrapped up in an MLM. Poor guy.
Does he have a cosmetology license? We know he doesn't have his doctorate.
His doctorate was in art history, I'm pretty sure. I think that comes up in a later episode. But yeah, God, MLMs, pyramid schemes are just pure evil. The way they take advantage of the people who sign up for them, that's gross.
It's not just the people that sign up for them. It's like the only way to really make money in them is to kind of sell out everybody you know.
Exactly. Like, it is a really morally bankrupt thing, and here you have poor Zoidberg trying to sell makeup. You know, I feel bad for him as usual.
So are all of the things like that marketed LMLs?
Multi-level marketing, it literally is just a pyramid scheme. It's just a rebranding and a term to make it seem more legitimate. But it's all just pyramid schemes.
All of them?
All of them.
Well, it's really... In many cases, it really depends on how deep you want to get into it. Because there's certain ones, like Avon, where it's technically a pyramid scheme, technically multi-level marketing, but you can still make money with it as long as you don't go full in as like psychopath. You need to get on board, so I get a sign-on bonus and do this. It's like, no, you could sell the products and make money with it just fine. But it's like, you really have to be careful with a lot of these things. You don't want to get swept up in trying to recruit people and get people selling under you and doing all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, like, it's possible to make money from MLMs. It's just nearly impossible. Just because there's always going to be so many other people wrapped up in it and trying to sell the product where there isn't enough of a market. There's always too many people selling it and not enough people buying. And, just you're overcrowding the market with sellers. And like, yeah, the only way to ever make money with an MLM, which is so extremely unlikely, is if like no one else is doing it. And also it kind of has to be a good product, which, I mean, I'll give that to Cutco at least, where their product is genuinely really good. And my younger brother got involved with Cutco when he was in high school and actually did make a little bit of money, just not even getting too deep into it, just selling some knives to, family and family friends.
Yeah, which, as long as you stay surface level in that and you don't try to go over the top against, well, if you can recruit other people, and it's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to sell your knives and make some money that way.
I mean, really, the best idea with an MLM is to just not get involved at all and find some other way to make money. Let's be real.
Although, given the way the economy is, any way you can make money is kind of, you take what you can get. But yeah, I understand the sentiment.
I guess, like with an MLM, most likely you're just going to lose money.
Yeah, of course, never pay money to a company in order to sell their stuff. If they really wanted you to work, they'd let you. Because very briefly, I had a job working for the Kirby company selling vacuums, and they never made me pay anything. They had me in, they had me for training and everything. They didn't pay me for training, but I wasn't working at the time, so I had nothing else I could do. But I went out and I was training. I only lasted like 3 days because I didn't like the idea of the hustle. Like, you had to constantly be in, you had to constantly be thinking about how people that you can pitch to or trying to get your foot in the door in a certain way, or like kind of obfuscating the reason you're going in. Like, you say they're there to offer a free carpet cleaning when really you're there to try to sell the vacuum. And like, I didn't like that idea. I didn't like the idea of lying to, like, because if the product is good, you shouldn't have to lie to get yourself in. That's the way I felt about it. So I did manage to make a single sale, but then I was like, yeah, I'm not coming back tomorrow, guys. I'm sorry.
That's actually, I'm not sure if I've shared this story before, but I used to work at a computer shop, and my boss always had the same approach whenever some solicitor came knocking at the shop. They would start giving their spiel, and he would always interrupt them and ask, "What are you selling?" And they would be like, "Oh, I'm not here to sell anything. I'm here to talk about," and he would just ask, "What are you selling?" And he would keep asking that same question until they finally cracked and admitted what it was they were trying to sell. And then he would always say the same thing. "Since you were not upfront with me, what makes you think I would ever want to do business with you?" And that would be the point. They would always just leave. It worked every time. But yeah, that kind of just deceptive sales tactic is so morally bankrupt and scummy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it works. The problem with that sort of sales tactic is that it's effective. That's why they do it.
I mean, that doesn't make it any better.
I know, absolutely. It doesn't help things, but that's the unfortunate thing, is that it does work. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like clickbait on YouTube. It sucks, but it works. That's the problem, is that it works, and the algorithm rewards that.
So, should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, David Duchovny was an acting robot. That makes a lot of sense, actually.
It really does. Actually, Calculon saying he was all of history's great acting robots and listing names feels like it might be another Star Trek reference. Because, like, you have that episode, Requiem for Methuselah, which has a character who turns out to be immortal, and it has a very similar scene where he names all of the famous historical figures like Brahm and Da Vinci who were actually him. And I just feel like that might have been what they were referencing with this scene of Calculon.
Possibly. I'm just thinking about those people that they get like a fortune teller. Well, there was a fortune teller in this too, but they get the fortune teller to tell them about their past lives. And it's like, oh, apparently in a past life I was Cleopatra. And it's like, nobody was ever like just a dung farmer somewhere.
I mean, that's not interesting to hear about, you know?
Right. Again, you have to tell them something that they want to hear. It's effective, even if it's not true.
Well, it's like a TV series where, you know, you're going to see the days where the characters get up to something. You're not going to see the days where they're just sitting around at home chilling and nothing interesting happens. You know, you look through all of some...
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to show them the boring shit.
Yeah, you look through all of someone's past lives and you're just going to skip the ones where they were nobody special and focus on the big ones because, hey, that's what's interesting.
Yeah.
Which is the same sort of thing... This seems like a weird tangent to go on, but the same sort of thing is like people are like, music was so much better back in the day. And it's like, no, you're picking and choosing. You're only seeing the ones that stood out. There was just as much mediocre crap. Same thing with everything. Movies, books, TV, video games. There's so much mediocre stuff that just kind of blends together that you only look at the good stuff.
Yeah, the good, memorable stuff is all that you remember. The other stuff just kind of fades to the background without staying power.
I do have a question for the night when they willed Bender to the wall.
Yeah?
Where is Fry going?
That is a really good question. Yeah, he lives in that apartment.
Yeah, he lives in the apartment. Really?
Is he going back to Planet
Maybe he's
Express?
gonna go sleep at Planet Express or something.
Or is he gonna turn around at some point?
I mean, I'm sure it's...
Realize, oh wait, I live there.
Yeah, right? That seems like it could have been a joke. It's like, oh wait, I live here.
I mean, I'm sure it was just a thing for safety, like, oh, I shouldn't stay here while we have Bender, you know, just to be safe. So he's gonna go stay with someone, but like, who was he staying with?
Why wouldn't he stay with Leela if he's gonna be back with her later in the next morning? And it's not like Leela needs she could probably use help meal prepping for the next month.
Yeah, like just have Fry crash on your couch. Like,
yeah,
it's such a bizarre bit now that you point it. Like, I didn't even think of that, but now that you point it out, yeah.
Yeah, like, what the where is he going?
That said, I do love the joke of Leela trying to kill a werecar by plugging a silver potato in its exhaust pipe. That's great.
Yeah.
It's just such it's such Futurama absurdity. It's like, how do you kill a car? You plug its tailpipe with a potato. It's not even like a little something specifically to plug a tailpipe. It's a potato, which people use that, but you think if you're specifically going to kill them that way, you would have something specifically for it. But no, it's just a potato. So, but it's a werecar, so it's to be a silver one.
Who made that silver potato anyway?
I'm surprised it's not just wrapped in silver tinfoil. Or, well, silver foil.
Well, I mean, like, why would you make a potato out of silver? Like, who uses that much silver just to make a freaking potato? Unless you're like some postmodern absurdist artist trying to do a Dada statement or about some nonsense involving potatoes.
Probably something about prices of things getting too high.
Huh. This potato was worth its weight in silver.
Possibly.
It is just such a weird... It's a good joke, but it's such a weird thing when you actually sit and think about it.
Like most things, it's just classic Futurama humor, which it's just a great one-liner. Yeah, I'll kill it by plugging his tailpipe with this silver potato. Then, of course, there's the main just crux of this episode of just the absurdity of Fry wanting to get hurt by Bender, because, like, yeah, it means that he's your best friend, but you don't want to die.
I mean, you know, he's hurt. People aren't always rational.
Yeah.
No, especially when you're dealing with the friendship here that could be on the rocks. I don't want to keep running people over. I'm not famous enough. Since when does Bender care about hurting people? He mutters, "Kill all humans" in his sleep.
I know, but I think he wants to do it on the down low. You know, he doesn't want to just, you know, do it in a way that...
He wants to be conscious for it. He wants to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, he also, I assume, doesn't want to do it in a way that can be traced back to him.
Not to mention to do it in a cooler way than just brute force.
Yeah, like, I'm just thinking about it, and, like, if he keeps waking up in impound lots on the, you know, mornings after someone gets hit and run, And if he's always in the same city as the person getting hit and run, eventually people are going to start asking questions.
Well, they never caught any of the other werecars.
That's true, but they're living in more remote locations. Bender's in New York.
And Calculon probably has reached a point where he can control it.
Yeah, how did Calculon get away with it for so long?
He's rich and famous. He can afford to.
That too. That could also work.
That answers. That's the. I guess ask a stupid question. So yeah, I'm just one quick question. What the bumper sticker that Bender has? If you can read this, I ran you over, which is a good visual gag. But where did that bumper sticker come from?
That's a good question. Where does it go in all future shots? Because it's just gone and there's nowhere.
And it's like where, but not only that. It's like, is it included as part of the transformation into the werecar? Because he'd had those fuzzy dice in his chest, and those were not included when he changed back.
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe Maybe it's dependent on the model.
Honestly, like lycanthropy is an extremely weird thing to think about from a scientific perspective.
Ow.
And it's even weirder when it's involving robots.
Yeah, like it's so bizarre.
It's fun.
But I guess we should say goodbye to our audience. Have a good night and stay safe. Don't let any silver potatoes get shoved in your tailpipes.
Thank you for listening to Space Podcast 3000. Your three voices of the future are Nova Altman, Doug Hancox, and Eden Valerie. The theme music is Voxel Revolution by Kevin MacLeod. You can hear more episodes of Space Podcast 3000 on YouTube or at soundcloud.com/spacepod3k. You can support the show and listen to new episodes a full week early at patreon.com/spacepod3k. Follow us on Twitter at spacepod3k. Be sure to join us next time as the Planet Express crew meets Fry's X in The Cryonic Woman.